In this world, you have two sets of people, the wicked and the weak. And when the weak get tired and they want to change the situation, the wicked will do all they can, will use all the arsenals they have to suppress the weak. So let's see what will happen. Something strange that is happening in the world. A black American by the name of Candace Owens, some of you must have known about her. She has accused the French president, not really, but she has said that the French president is married to a man, that Bridgitte Macron, that we all know as the wife of the French president, is a man. Now you say, what's our business? After all, in Africa, we have our own challenges, we have our own problems, so it doesn't really concern us, but it does. When I first heard the gist, I dismissed it because it sounded so ridiculous. But two things made me take special attention. First of all, the journalist that was uncovering it, her name is Candace Owens. And if you know Candace Owens, she's very, very thorough about what she researches. And the other thing that made me just pay some attention was that the way they were reacting. You know, if somebody is not guilty and they accuse you of something, you will not be so particular. But the way they are doing, the way they are even reacting about this one is giving me a bit of details. Now, Candace Owens is not just saying this from out of the blues. For those that don't know, Candace Owens is a journalist that is uncovering the story. She's accusing them that the wife lied, that she's actually a male. She didn't just get it from out of the blues. There's a journalist in France they call Xavier Poussard, and that journalist, this is what he does. He uncovers profiles of popular people in France, and he's been on this story for a while. In fact, he has a book called Becoming Bridgitte. It's on Amazon. It's a detailed book about this particular case. So he was the one that first uncovered it. But because it was a French thing, because of the language difference, we speak English, so Candice Owens probably didn't hear about it, and she's an English speaking person, she's a black American, but she just talked about it slightly, and the reaction, it was like there was so much that people were trying to hide. So Candice, she's that kind of person. She always tries to uncover the truth, and she has really touched some topics that now they are now mainstream. She was one of the first people that started talking about PDD, this case of wild parties and all that. The parties, that all those parties, this story that I've been hearing about PDD and to do with baby oil and all those nonsense. She was one of those that was consistent about it. It becomes mainstream. Candice is this kind of journalist. She will just say something and it looks so stupid, but later you now start uncovering it. For this, I'm not 100% sure, but she's really doing a good job. So she got her information, the basic information, from this man they call Xavier Poussard. Is a French journalist that wrote a book, and today as we speak, the man is no longer in France because they were threatening him so much that he had to take his family away. Now, one would wonder, if someone just comes and accuses me that I'm a male, first of all, most likely I'll laugh about it, or I won't even take it seriously. But things are happening. There were some other journalists that just a regular journalist. You have some journalists, they just talk about profiles of popular people. They are not controversial journalists. They don't talk about conspiracy theories. They are not political journalists. So some female journalists that tried to interview the French first lady, they found out that when they were asking her questions about her past and they wanted to know things, to get some pictures and stuff, they were being very, very cagey and they were getting worried. So many things are happening. And now you would say, what is our business if the French first lady is actually a male? After all, we have male that change. They have people that do trans surgery. You have males that change to females and females that change to males. So it's not such a big deal. But it's such a big deal when you think of the history of France and Africa. France and Africa, they have a very, very unequal relationship. Let's call it what it is. There's something that they say, I don't know how true it is, that till today, some French colonies, like some Francophone countries, still actually pay some dues to the French government. So you see that there's this culture of darkness and secrecy that is happening. Now, what Candace Owens is saying, we can let it go, but for two other reasons. She's saying something. She's saying that the French couple, they lied about some things when they met. For those that don't know, Emmanuel Macron was about 15 years when he met his wife. his wife was 39. She was married with two children. And but by the time they were talking about it later, according to Candace and some other journalists, they said that they adjusted the age. They said he was 17 and she was younger. So now there was that thing. But later they came out, according to Candice and some people, they came out and they said the truth, even officially. The paper they used to sue Candice, they said that he was 15 and she was 39. Now you can be 15 and 39. First of all, as a 15-year-old, you know how you were when you were 15. You didn't really have the mind. You know, at 15, you just want to have fun. You don't even know anything about life and about love. So why will you be a 15-year-old man and a 15-year-old boy and a 39-year-old man will be, will be trying to, it's just weird. She was married, first of all. She had 2 or 3 children and she was his teacher, or she was teaching him. So you can imagine there was a lot of things that were not right. Even if the French laws, they permit people of 15 to be active, to have relationships, adult relationships, but it is still not morally right. And it's something that got a lot of people worried, and it seems as if she got away with it. But now let's even leave that one outside. But one thing we have to realize before we leave that aside is that when you lie about something, there's a likelihood that you are lying about other things. Now, there's also something Candice is saying that she was talking about continuously as she was uncovering the series, because I followed Candice and I was following. She said that the French president, Emmanuel Macron, was groomed not only by the wife, in terms of was groomed by a certain classes of people in France to be president, that they gave him some undue advantage, that the profile they said about him that he was very intelligent, he was this, he was that. By the time they did some investigations, which are still allegations, they found out that those things were cooked up, that they groomed him specifically to become president. The powers that be, you know how it is in every country, you have the powers that be, people that are on top, people that continuously want to oppress, the poor. They continuously want to put their people in government. They continuously want to oppress the people. And people are accusing the French government, as we speak, of being very, very authoritarian. They've arrested the allegations of them arresting several journalists that want to talk about the situations. In fact, there's a particular journalist that they said he made himself unalive, a particular man that was also talking about this issue of her being a man, a doctor, whatever. And some people that have been accusing them, some of them have been made unalive, or some of them, they said that they made themselves unalive. I don't want to use the word. It starts with S. When you make yourself unalive. So some people are disappearing in France under mysterious circumstances. So these things are things we should look onto. And now Candace Owens is not even talking about what's happening. She's going to the past. She's going to the history, talking about the powers in France, what they do, how they take young people and what they do to young people. They have some inappropriate relationships with young people, which I don't want to talk about. But you know what I'm talking about. They have inappropriate relationship with young people. It's like a ring, just like what PDD was doing. PDD was accused of carrying underage minors from different states, to have some wild parties. So it's like a ring. Not only it's like from America, it's going to France, and who knows what's happening in Africa. These things may be happening and we don't even know, because we are so oppressed here, and sometimes journalists don't even have what they need, the resources or even the time, because they are pursuing just basic living, so you can't even pursue stories the way you want to do it. But Candace Owens, thankfully, she's saying a lot of things about oppression, how people are oppressed, how countries are oppressed. So now, if Emmanuel Macron was indeed groomed by powers that be to suppress people, what will be happening to African countries? We are just like their chattels. They do what they like. Sometimes these Western nations, when they see that a leader is doing well, they do all their best to bring that person down. An example is somebody we know, Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore is the current leader of Burkina Faso. Yes, he did not enter through democracy, but so far so good. People say he's doing well. Nobody can be perfect, but people say he has the love of the people at heart. There's a popular blog, a popular YouTuber they call Wode Maya. He went to Burkina Faso himself to investigate if indeed people love him. And from what he uncovered, People actually love that man. But now there are many people that are not happy about it. These Western nations, they have a lot of things they do. When we have leaders that are not the kind of leaders we want, if those leaders are slaves to them, if those leaders give them opportunity to rob the country of all our resources, they will just remove their eyes. Now they are making accusations against Ibrahim Traore, he's this, he's that, making him to seem as if he's a bad person. But the people so far, they like him. Now, Candace, she's uncovering things, and you find out that when she uncovers things about one nation, somehow it connects to another. Yes, she's talking about people, a group of people that do a lot of things. There are some things I cannot say because I'm on this platform. They do a lot of things to keep the poor suppressed. They have hidden agendas. There's somebody in charge of them. There's that wicked person. They're like being demon possessed. There are people that they have agendas that are so scary if you know their ultimate goal. So now, Candice, beyond that thing of saying that the wife of the French president, Brigitte Macron, is a male, which she's not just saying from out of the blue. She's getting facts. And she's saying it. There are still allegations, but she said she gave them the opportunity. She sent a letter through her lawyer to the French government before she started this podcast. She sent a letter through her lawyer asking them some basic questions. The French president and his wife, they did not answer. She's also saying that the French president's wife is Jean-Michel. That is a person that the wife is claiming to be her brother. Now we are asking, where is John Michel? Is he still alive? And if he's still alive, why is he not coming out to defend his sister and say, see, we are two different people? No? They are saying she's me, but see me, I'm different. Why is he not coming out to defend his sister? Two, why will those major news outlets like CNN and the rest, why don't they go and find out if indeed she had a brother? And if she has a brother too, let us see the brother. There was a time that they were saying Michael Jackson and his sister, that they are one and the same person, Janet Jackson. They both came out and they now made a funny video and say, see, we are different, we are not the same. I know people will say they are conspiracy theories. People say some funny things, even about the Nigerian government. There was a time, that they said that Bubu was a Sudanese and all that. But we know that some leaders, they have some very terrible motives. And if you want to uncover things about them, they will do everything. They will discredit you. Let's give an example of PDD. When some people started talking about PDD, nobody wanted to talk about it. Few people wanted to touch it. But Candace Owens came out and she said, this is what is happening. And now it is now mainstream. He has now been accused of, he has now been taken to court and he was accused, even though they are saying, some people are saying the case was biased because most of the major things they said against him, the court said that he was not guilty of it. So you know how it works. The powerful always find ways to oppress. Now, and the way the French president and the wife, the way they are dealing with this thing, you wonder, why are they so particular? Why are they trying to suppress journalists? Why are people having to leave the country for just wanting to know certain things about them? Why are they cagey? Let's follow this case and see. We will see what will happen at the end. If indeed it's true, the allegations, and if indeed, or if Candace Owens is lying, we will know. But one thing I know for sure, the rich will always do their best to oppress the poor, to keep them constantly ignorant. That is the way they continue oppressing the poor. So what do you think? Do you think Bridgitte Macron was right, first of all, for dating a very young guy that she was supposed to, be like a role model to? Do you think is the right thing? Do you think it was right for her to do that? Because now according to what they are saying, she has her children. Unfortunately, the president of France, as we speak, Macron does not have his own biological children. She has her own biological children. So imagine, she deprived him of a lot of things. And when people are groomed, they end up falling in love with the person that groomed them. So to him, he will see it as normal. But the relationship has been very funny from the beginning. So let's keep up with what's happening and let's see what will happen at the end. So till I see you in the next video where I discuss about something that is really useful